This cow owes its life to an airplane. 4 airplanes in Torrington, to be exact.
Giant Tower ACAT 453 with you 3 miles south of Torrington at 2,500, ready to begin spray operation.
To understand why a cow needs airplanes, consider that aviation accounts for 5% of Wyoming's economy in direct and induced economic activity. It helps support more than 9% of the state's employment and connects every industry and sector of the economy to each other.
The general and commercial aviation really gives people access to the beautiful towns around the state of Wyoming, as well as those natural areas. But we're not talking just Grand Teton and Yellowstone National Parks. We're talking fishing and boating around Green River and Rock Springs, the Miracle Mile, up near Sheridan, if you go across the Bighorn Mountains, the east entrance to Yellowstone Cody, the Buffalo Bill Center of the West, even those hot springs in Saratoga and Thermopolis.
Commercial aviation is what everybody knows and sees. They fly on it when they go to see relatives and family and friends. But what is just as important to our state is the general aviation traffic. They bring our doctors into our communities, they bring our cargo in, they connect our industries and our businesses to the global economy.
Each year, millions of letters and packages fly into our sparsely populated state. Almost every online purchase, every package, or Amazon order we expect to arrive quickly requires Wyoming aviation infrastructure.
Every dollar invested in Wyoming aviation infrastructure has a force multiplier that trickles into every small community across the state.
Air service is so important for the hospitality industry and specifically to conventions because it makes us competitive on a national scale. Without that, chances of us winning those national conventions are a lot less.
Aviation touches and seeps into almost everything, even below ground. Half a mile down outside of Green River is the world's largest deposit of soda ash, which is necessary to produce fiberglass and flat glass.
It's really like an underground city. This is an international business that serves international customers, and we have to be connected with those customers. It's important for us to be able to be connected, be able to get service from our vendors, be able to work with our customers. It's an important recruiting tool to be able to bring in talent that we're going to recruit as employees here to see the operation. It's important for our employees to be able to have access for their vacations and be able to visit the family that doesn't live in Wyoming.
Jenner's in the process of doing a $5 billion expansion in southwest Wyoming, and we've had investors coming in for the last 2 years. It'll open so many doors for us to travel to international locations without having to worry about driving. Jenner is a global company with its parent company in Istanbul, Turkey, and we have corporate offices in London, England, and Atlanta, Georgia. And we need access to Wyoming from all of those locations.
His counterparts in the oil and gas industry are connected to businesses in Texas, Louisiana, North Dakota, Utah, Pennsylvania, California, D.C., and internationally Canada, Australia, Europe, and the Middle East. 214 miles to the northeast is Pathfinder Reservoir, a popular boating destination where 19,000 acres were burned in the Pedro Mountain Fire. In the heat of August, 1,500 acres burned in one day. 2 single-engine air tankers, or seats, were dispatched to bring the Pedro Mountain Fire under control, thereby averting devastating destruction to both property and wildlife, and possibly preventing loss of life.
Mass 25 X-ray, fly 320 and drop 14 DME, Rock Springs at 7200.
In general, aviation is a critical part to any kind of firefighting operation, especially the kind of operations that we've got going on here in Wyoming.
That includes single-engine air tankers, large air tankers. We even have very large air tankers, which are air tankers that are on real big airframes. And then helicopters, everything from a smaller Type 3 helicopter, which would be an A-Star, to a Type 1 helicopter, like a Sky Crane.
Back to that cow from earlier, where Dean McLean of Ag Flyers patrols the skies overhead to knock out weeds and pests, like larkspur and grasshoppers.
9 grasshoppers per square yard will destroy as much grass as a cow. They don't consume that much, but they clip it off. 1 or 2 bites, they clip the grass off and make it unusable. So grasshoppers in some years can be a huge problem in Wyoming. In some years, they just wipe out the rangeland, and that's where the airplanes come in. There's been a lot of new technology from the University of Wyoming. We can actually spray half of the rangeland and get total control only by spraying. It saves the grass, it's economical, it's safe. Without airplanes in aviation in Wyoming, really we'd be back where we were in the 1800s. We had agriculture then, but there were years when people were wiped out, people went broke.
Crop duster 1584, spray at your discretion, let them have it.
We've all grown so accustomed to seeing contrails that it's easy to forget that every one tells a story. Like the one that connected Campbell County Memorial Hospital to Denver. Every year, 7,000 Americans are bitten by venomous snakes. In 2019, 2 were bitten by rattlesnakes outside Gillette on the same day. The hospital had antivenom stocked for only 1 rattlesnake bite. They got on the phone to Northeast Wyoming Regional Airport and arranged for more CrowFab antivenom to be flown in.
Campbell Memorial Airlift 142 inbound with 2 souls on board, ETA 15 minutes. Be advised both souls have sustained snake bites. Both are stable at the moment.
With our wide open spaces, the importance of aviation to health and healthcare is impossible to overstate. Every hospital in Wyoming has patients who survive accidents only because emergency blood supplies are either flown in or patients are life-flighted to level 1 or 2 trauma centers. Cancer and other critical care patients rely on air service to access the life-saving and life-preserving treatments they need.
Some of our accidents are hundreds of miles away, and they're in a place where maybe the roads are bad and the ambulance can't get to. And so the importance of aviation is really truly life-saving, whether it be for trauma or stroke or a heart attack. Those time-sensitive emergencies really need to be transported rapidly. And so the importance of aviation is really like upholding the pre-hospital setting of the healthcare system when a ground ambulance isn't able to respond or get there quick enough.
It's safe to say that without aviation capabilities that a lot of these patients would not make it.
Back in Torrington, that cow herd added some new members as 2019's winter gave way to spring 2020. Although 2020 turned out to be a strange year, life marches on, and the necessity of air service in Wyoming's aviation industry continues undimmed and undiminished. The way of life we enjoy here, the freedom, the opportunity, the prosperity, health, and education, all of it has roots up in the sky.
We have can-do people, that get-her-done attitude, and these airports are part of that, and great doing business here in Wyoming.
When I discovered Wyoming, I discovered a really great secret.
Having the state of Wyoming support and invest in aviation makes my professional life and my personal life so much better.
Aviation in Wyoming saves lives.
Agriculture, business, education, forest management and fire suppression, jobs and opportunity, healthcare, tourism, vacations. Wyoming Aviation makes our way of life possible.
Cessna 405 Papa Mike, take runway 28 for straight out departure. Thanks for all your help. Have a good night.